power of community, right? The power of community. And there's something really interesting that happens when groups come together. And Keith Sawyer talks about this a lot in his book, Group Genius, which is that you bring a group together, and if the interaction patterns are right, if you create the right kind of conversations, the right kind of interactions, the group itself becomes smarter than any brilliant individual in the room. The group becomes smarter than the average intelligence of the room. The group all of a sudden finds ways to solve problems that no one person can do on their own. And so over the course of the next few days, and I'm going to call this a weekend, even though 2 of the 3 days are not a weekend. We're just going to call it a weekend because it's easier. Over the course of this weekend, I'm going to continue to kind of point back and say, hey, do you see what just happened because we chose to enter into community? Because we chose to enter an environment where we both give generously and receive graciously, right? And you're going to find that the people next to you have as much to teach you as anyone that will be up here on stage, right? And you'll find that you have the ability to teach someone else. And I know other people have said it, but I really learned it from Mike, this idea that when one person teaches, 2 people learn, both the teacher and the learner. And so we're going to continue to invite you into that over the course of the whole weekend. So we were in Atlanta 6 months ago, and we do something a little bit different around here, which is that we focus a lot on strengths and a lot on what's working. And I want to show you why. Storage Rebellion does not let her read this real quick. This is a disclaimer. Raise your hand if you agree to the disclaimer. Excellent. That is a legally binding hand raise. Well done. All right. Okay. When we think about problem solving, what many of us do is we look at what's wrong, right? We look at what's called the negative deviance, or a deficit gap. What's between me and normal, right? I'm over here and normal is over there. I want to get there, and all I can see is the gap between me and normal. As a result, I tend to think that I am diseased, deficient, alienated. There's something broken, and all I'm looking to do is fix the broken problem. What we want to invite is something different, which starts from a place of being healthy, functional, and satisfied, and looks at the positive deviance. What's the abundance gap? What's possible? What could be? When have I been strong and great that I might be able to do more of that? And that takes us to a place of thriving, of being prosperous, of being engaged. I want to give you an example of this. British Airways had a terrible, terrible lost baggage problem, right? Lost baggage problem. You've maybe experienced that traveling through an airport. Your bag gets lost. Turns out it ended up in, Alabama for some reason. And they started by asking the question, how do we fix our baggage problem? And then somebody said, actually, could we do a different question? What if we ask this question, how do we create an exceptional arrival experience? Right? Don't just fix the broken problem. What if we create an exceptional arrival experience? And we think about everything from like the pre-landing experience to the taxiing to what's the flow like through the airport? Like, how do we take in that whole experience? Guess what? The lost baggage problem fixed itself. Not only that, they started getting higher and higher, like rave reviews and great customer experience from an airline. I'll give you one more example. This comes from K-12 education. Is anybody having trauma right now simply by seeing the red X on the screen, right? There's teachers scoring math tests. They've been doing this since red pens were invented. What do? You make a red X on the problems that someone got wrong. So they invited some teachers to do something different. They said, hey, instead of doing a red X, we're going to give you your own fancy blue pen. And you're going to circle the answers they got right. And it was the only variable that they changed. And they noticed the test performance improved significantly simply by making this change. Because now the kids can focus on, oh, I did this right. This is what I'm doing well. maybe I can apply that to the things that I'm not getting right, rather than focusing on, uh-oh, this is broken, it's wrong, I suck, I'm terrible at this.